there, friends. It's Jackie Ballhays from Confident Stampers. Today, I'm going to share a fun fold with you. This is a card template that is in my fun fold book, which I'll give you a peek at here in a second. But I'm going to use a stamp set called Frosted Forest. It's an online exclusive product, so you have to look on the Stampin' Up website to see it. But it has stencils to do the coloring. Now, a while back, I did one where it was the floral one. I can't remember the name of it. But I showed how to use the stencils on that. This is a tree, and I'm going to show you how to use the stencils. It's a great way to color with great results, and I've got lots of tips for you. So let's flip the camera down, and let's get to work. Boy, I wish you could see my table here. I have a lot going on, but I promise this card really is fun and easy. Now, I am using one of the templates from the Fun Fold book. We're going to make the flip top card. For those of you that have this book already, it's on page 23. Otherwise, if you love making easy fun folds, you'll have to check this out. There's 54 different fun fold card templates in it that you can make. It is on my website. The link will be down in the video description for you if you'd like to look at that. Okay, let's go ahead. And first, I think we're going to make the card base, and then we'll go ahead and do the masks or stencils or whatever you want to call it, and do the tree part of the card. So I'm going to start here with an 8.5 by 11 just to show you the whole cutting on this one. So normally we just cut this in half for a card, and that's how we're going to start. So we need a 5.5 by 8.5 piece, and this should be scored at 4 1/4. So let's score that. Now, out of this piece, I need a 3 1/4 by 5.5. So we already know that's 5.5. So we can come over here and get our 3 1/4 piece. And then this one needs to be scored at a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna put that right there. Is that right? Yeah, right there in the half. Make sure you use the scoring blade. And then there's our little flap. So that's all the cutting I'm gonna have to do. So we'll move our cutter. Okay, so let's make the base here. So we're going to take this one and we're going to fold on all of our creases. Remember, the bumpy part goes to the inside on your score lines. So we'll get a good fold there. And then we're going to take some adhesive and we're going to put it on this flap right here. And then this is going to go on the back of the card. So we're going to keep this piece closed and stick it right up there at that fold line and bring it down. Try to center it under there, just like so. So we'll make sure that that adhesive is stuck on there good. So our card's going to open like so. Okay, so there's our card base. And then let's go ahead and add our designer series paper here while we're at it before we start doing the fun part. So we're going to put a 4 by 5 1/4. Now, all of these measurements I will have over on the blog post. So just follow the link that's down in the video description, and it will take you to the blog post that has all the measurements so that you can make this card. It'll have information on the Fun Fold book if you want to learn how to make 54 different fun folds, as well as all the products and stuff that I'm using. So, okay, here is the base of our card. So we've got that much. Let's set that aside. Let's get rid of our adhesive here. And now we're going to go ahead and bring in our Frosted Forest stamp set. And then when you get the bundle, you not only get dies, but you also get, I call them stencils. You can call them stencils or masks. And there's 3 different ones to do the pine tree. And I'll show you a sample of those after I do the card I'm making for you today. And then 3 different ones for the large tree. So you'll notice on these, they are numbered. Let's see, we've got number 1, and then number 2, you can just barely see it, and number 3. You'll also know which way they go by if you can read the numbers the right way. If the number's upside down and on the wrong side, then it's upside down. So make sure those numbers are up. And then we are going to take a piece of basic white. And what I like to do, now there's all different ways that you can do the stencils, but what I like to do is use my grid paper. And I'm going to tape this on here, and we're just going to tape a corner there and a corner there. I'm just using painter's tape because it'll come off easy. And then I'm going to put my first stencil down. Now here's kind of the important part. We're going to first tape it down. Okay, so I like to, again, use 2 pieces. Now I'm going to die cut this tree, so it really doesn't matter where it ends up on there, just as long as there's enough room to make the whole thing. So I think that should be good. We're going to tape it there and tape it there so it stays in place. And then I'm going to take a pen and see this little notch? I'm going to draw around this corner, down in the notch and over that way. That's how I know how to line up the next stencils. So let's start with Pecan Pie. Let's get that ink out. And I've got my blending brush here, and we're going to ink that up. And I always like to start off, we can start off on the stencil even, and then just rub it, go around, move in circles, get it as dark as you want it. The tree here, there's only one layer of this color that's going on, so we want some nice color. And the more I smear, because I have all this ink on the stencil, I can just kind of keep picking that up and going over it. So that's all there is to number 1. So we'll set that color aside, and then we're going to use crushed curry. We'll make this a nice pretty fall card. So we're going to pick up the stencil like so. This stays put, and this is why we don't want the paper to move, because the paper and then our little line, that all works together. Then we're going to take number 2, and oops, we can peel off the tape actually from the stencil. We don't need new pieces. And I am going to line it up with my lines right there. You can even see through the stencil a little bit too. And then we'll tape this one down. And now we're going to start with crushed curry. So we'll get that ink, again, start off, because we don't want like blobby marks on there. And then just nice and gentle, roll it around, pick up more of that ink on the plastic. And you can just keep doing it until you get it as dark as you want it. So there's our crushed curry. And then the next one is what really brings our tree to life. So you can see that part. And then we're going to take number 3 and line that one up just like so. And we'll tape that one down. Now you could use another color. There's so many different options for these trees. You could use another color if you wanted. I like to just use the same color, because now as I go over it with this one, it's just going to make those spots darker. Okay, so we'll give that some good color. This is the last one, so we want to get good color on there. Okay, so there's stencil number 3. Voila! Now, I've made, and I'll show you some cards when I'm done here. You could leave it just like that, but then I like to go ahead. There is the outline of it, and we're going to stamp that one in early espresso right on top of it. Now, I have seen some people where they'll stamp the tree first, the one I'm doing, and then stencil on top of it. Whatever works best for you. I found that for me, I like to do the stenciling first, and then hopefully this one's really big. Let's see. Usually I put my head like right on top of it, but you don't want to see the top of my head. So let's try to line that up the best we can. It's a big stamp, so give it some good pressure and pick it up. And there we go. There is our tree. I'm off just a little hair, but that's okay. That doesn't really matter. So there is how you use the stencils for that tree. Now what we're going to do is grab the die for this one, because we're going to cut out the tree. So let me go do that, and I will be right back. Okay, there is the tree. So let's go ahead, flip it over, and put some dimensionals on it. And this is, oops, they stuck together there. Oh, come on. And then we're going to put this on the front. And we're going to pull out those stencils again, because we're going to do something with them for the inside of the card as well. So there is our tree. We're going to stick it right there. Now, let's take a scrap here of white, and we're going to stamp a greeting for on the front. Now, usually when I stamp a greeting, you won't see me put measurements, because I like to use a scrap. and I stamp right on the edge like that, and then I'll grab my trimmer and I'll trim it down to size. I find that's the easiest, especially when you want something just the size of your sentiment. So there is that piece. Let's see, let's go ahead and grab our card. Now we're gonna use dimensionals on this as well. So I'm gonna put one on each side, and then we will put it right over the base of our tree, like so. Okay, so there is the front. Now, because this card flips up like so, we're gonna put this piece right in here. So you'll be able to open it and then read another greeting on this one. And so for this, we're going to go ahead and grab our stencils again here. And let's see. Now this one, actually, we're not going to tape it down. I think we can do okay because we're only doing 2 of them. Let's see if we can line these up close enough like so. This one I want really light though, because we're going to stamp our words over it. So we're just going to put some real light pecan pie, just so you can see it, like so. And then we're gonna take the big one, and I think, yeah, so you can line this up without drawing the little notches. I think especially when you're doing the whole tree, it's a little bit easier to do the notches. Now again, we're gonna go real light on this. So we're just putting that crushed curry on there. That should be good enough. So there is our tree, and we're going to take another greeting. This stamp set has some really nice greetings as well, and we can stamp right over the top of that tree. Now we're going to use our adhesive. When we stick this down, we want to make sure we're more towards the top here and centered, because that way it'll hide the flap from the flap. So just stick that on there. Okay, so we have thinking of you and how you strengthen my life. No beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart. And then we've got one more layer to put on the inside here. And so again, let's grab our stencils. Let's see. And this time we're going to just put part of the tree down here. Let's see if I can just hold this. I didn't tape it down, so we got to hold it so it doesn't move. So there's that part. And notice there's enough ink on right on the plastic and on my blending brush to do it. Yeah, I was hoping I grabbed the right color there. So again, we want this nice and light. So there's the tree for the inside, and then we can go ahead and we're just going to put the words, thank you. And then that will go in. And I think we're almost done with the card. And then I have some other ones to share with you, to show you a few other ideas. But I hope you liked this fun fold idea. This card idea you can use with any stamps, paper, and ink. It's a super easy fun fold. Whoops. Let that set up on me. Again, I'll have all the measurements for you if you don't already have these in the fun fold book over on the website. Just check for the link to it down in the video description. So before I share the other cards with you, I just want to remind you that registration opens tomorrow for the Creativate Fall Retreat, and you're not going to want to miss it. We've got some great projects lined up for you, 48 different tutorials. We've got 8 live presentations. If you can't make them live, you can watch the replay, and ton of stamping fun. We actually stamp with you at our retreats for a whole month long. So make sure you check my website tomorrow. If you're on my email list, you'll get a email for it, but come join us for the Fall Creativate Retreat. I know you're going to love it and all of the projects. Now, here are the other cards I made. There's 2 other ones with the tree. You'll see I just use different colors. Here's another one of the dies that come with this stamp set. So there'll be pictures of these cards and all the dimensions and colors and everything over on that website as well. And then finally, here is this one with the pine trees. So you can see, same concept. There was 2 different stencils, and I did use 2 different colors in these instead of, all of these I used just the one color. And then did the detail on top of it, and then on the back I just stamped the detail one just to get a little bit more depth. So there are the 4 different cards that I made with the Frosted Forest. So make sure you check out that blog post, and then tomorrow I hope you register for the Creative 8 retreat. Remember, if you register early, by Sunday, you'll get in on our early bird bonus and get 4 fun fold tutorials that are different cards than, that we share publicly. So you don't want to miss out on those as well. So thanks for watching, friends. We'll be stamping again real soon. Until then, have a stamp happy day.